And we are live.
Good morning.
Hello.
Yeah, dragging along today.
We are, but we want to welcome you to another episode of Menopause Enough Already.
Enough.
I am Heather.
And I'm Courtney, and we're
we
the
are the
Mac
Mac
Sisters. Menopause Enough Already. We are real women, real talk, real things, keeping it real with all of the topics and everything that comes with perimenopause, menopause, and midlife in general.
Midlife mysteries, all those things that come up with questions, and you're like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
We are here to help answer those questions and
have a little humor.
Lots of humor. Let's make it fun. Because what do we say? You got to laugh or you got to cry.
Yeah,
and crying
yeah.
gives me a headache.
Yeah. We're not going to cry about it. We're going to be here supporting you. So, as always, we have email, we have DM, we have all the things. So reach out to us with any kind of questions or topics you want us to talk about here on the podcast so that we can do just that, support you guys and support one another, because it is different for each one of us and everything that's going on is different and symptoms are different, experiences are different. But if we can help support each other, that's what we want to do.
And education is the key. So educating yourself is very important. So then you can help, diagnose and figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
But before we get started, we are coming to you from Varsity Park Studios at Varsity Park Franklin, Roanoke's newest innovative storage and business center. Check them out on Facebook or at varsityparkfranklin.com.
Okay.
We give a shout out to Varsity Park. Thank you guys for letting us use the studio and so we can get our messages out to you.
Yeah. You were talking about, you said education is key, and it got my mind going because I feel like menopause, perimenopause, and hormones is like the big buzzword right now.
It's huge.
Like, and I know like your social media feed is dependent upon like what your phone is listening to and what you're talking
what
about.
You start talking about, and it's like boom, boom,
yes,
boom, all the
yes.
advertisements.
What are you researching? What are you looking? But my feed is like all about that. It's like working out, menopause, hormones, GLP-1s, peptides. Like
everything is like coming up. Ding, ding. Hey, you want to buy this? Do you want to buy that?
Healthy, meal prep, blah, 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 all the things. But I do feel like there's a lot of conversation going on right now about hormones, about how they're affecting our body, and perimenopause and menopause and menopause and like all the things. So education is key. Mm-hmm. There is a lot going on out there, and there is a lot of conversations. Nothing gets my blood boiling faster than, and I'm sorry, I'm going to be a little rude, like a 20-something talking about perimenopause and menopause, because sorry, girl,
you have got no idea.
You got no clue, because when I was 20-something, like, everything worked. I could eat what I wanted.
It was so far away.
Right.
It was not going to happen anytime soon.
That was like grandma.
Yes.
That was like grandma.
Yes.
And so that is very irritating to me. She might have all the education in the world.
Right.
But I'm like,
but no personal experiences.
Shut up. You do not know. But yeah, so all of that to say, when you're getting like education, when you are researching, when you're looking up, consider your sources. Make sure they're coming from medical journals, like published, reliable resources, not Susie Q selling speedy hormone like help. I'm sorry,
right.
You know what I'm saying.
Right.
Like,
and that does not discredit anyone in their 20s or 30s that does need some type of hormone replacement therapy or something just to help your own hormones produce a little bit more.
Right.
But
everyone's story is different, like we talked about.
Everybody is a little bit different. But we do have a couple questions today that we have received that we wanted to answer.
Yeah. So one of the big ones that we've talked about is like weight gain, body composition changing. And so one of them is, am I gaining weight because of perimenopause? Yes and no.
Yes and no. Statistically, It says that basically the average woman gains about 10 pounds.
Over the course of aging or in perimenopause?
In perimenopause.
Okay.
Because of a reduction in hormones.
Right.
However, there is, I want to say, kind of a snowball effect to that. So it can lead to more weight gain.
Yeah.
But they usually talk about just the change in body composition because you're losing muscle mass and gaining body fat. So things tend to change on your body. So, for instance, I never gained weight in my abdomen, in my middle. So when I was younger, I didn't. I would get a little bigger in my hips, my thighs, something
because you
like
had
that.
estrogen.
Right.
Yeah.
However, going through perimenopause and losing hormones, I start to get a little pudge in my stomach. Now, I know I've talked about this before. I was not the regular person, whoever that average person is that only gained 10 pounds, please tell me who you are, because I gained 60.
Yeah.
And now it was over a course of 5 years, but still 60 pounds is a lot to then have to figure out how you're going to take it off. But it wasn't just, I don't have hormones, I gained weight. There's
so many things.
Cascading thing of I didn't have hormones, and so I was always tired, and so I wanted to grab carbs to eat.
Right.
And the simple things that were easy to grab, and so I was grabbing foods that I shouldn't have been eating, and then my body hurt, so I didn't want to work out.
Right.
So it was just like a multiple things that added to the extra weight gain.
Right. And so, yes, as your hormones are changing, you might still have hormones. I mean, we're talking about perimenopause, so it's up and down, up and down, up and down. We're still like cycling through our hormones, but your body becomes more androgen as you're what does that mean? As you're losing estrogen, it becomes more androgen like man. Like men store their weight in their belly and not in their legs. Whereas when your estrogen fat is storing, it's around the hips and around the thighs. So even where your body stores fat changes when your hormones change.
Yes.
And I want to reiterate what you were saying. It's not just hormones changed, so I gained weight.
No.
It was, I'm fatigued. I'm not sleeping well. So then I'm tired. My body's not processing things as it should. My joints hurt. I'm craving different foods. My insulin levels are changing because my body really doesn't have the hormones that it needs to keep that insulin sensitivity. So now I'm more insulin resistant. So now I'm spiking and crashing and craving.
Cortisol is going up, which storing belly fat.
And now estrogen is dropping. So whatever fat I am storing is more androgen in the belly, more male storage. So there is so much going on when the hormones are changing. Does that mean hormones are the cause of the weight gain? Not necessarily. It's just so many different steps.
My choices were the cause of the weight gain.
Right.
So, my choice for the bad foods, the processed foods, the inactivity, the always being tired. So there were reasons why I chose that. And yes, there are women out there who do not experience that.
Yeah.
They might be tired and they might have a little joint pain, but we've talked about this before. I couldn't use my arms because of my frozen shoulders. So, I mean, there's a difference in women's and to the extent that their symptoms show up.
Yeah.
So, yes, there is kind of a cause and effect there.
Yeah, and I will say this is where the number on the scale is not what you should be looking at. We really need to look at body fat percentage.
Right.
Get into the InBody or a body composition measuring device, scanner, the tools that will tell you your body fat. That's what you really need to look at, because lean body mass weighs more, healthy bone weighs more. So looking at body fat, body composition is bigger than just the scale. So making sure you're looking at fat distribution, body comp, that kind of thing matters. People talk about taking hormones, and I don't want to take hormones. Some people say I'm too old to take hormones. So one of the questions we had was, can I take hormones? Let me find the exact wording. Am I too old to take hormones if I am past menopause? Well,
I'm going to say no. I don't believe at any point you're past the point.
Right. So here's the question that you should ask yourself. Why not? We have enough research and data to show there is benefits that come from hormone replacement therapy. When we talk about that, it's bioidentical. We're talking about something that your body makes and has made its whole life. It's being used. It is actually, hormones are FDA approved for osteoporosis prevention and treatment. So the FDA has already said,
for
hey,
estrogen.
Yeah, for estrogen.
And
so,
progesterone.
Hey, there is enough research that hormone replacement therapy helps with osteoporosis.
And
so we're going to FDA approve this.
But nobody's also talking about that either.
No. If we get people off of medicines, then we got a large companies that aren't making money.
True.
That's another rabbit hole. I'm not going down it. But
if I was going to go
right,
down
if I was going to go on down that rabbit hole, there's lots of people that aren't going to make money if you are healthy.
Right.
But just so if someone says, "Oh, well, I've already gone through menopause and I'm out of perimenopause, like, so I'm done with hormones. I don't need any. Like, should I take them?" Yeah.
Yes.
Heart disease prevention, Alzheimer's prevention, diabetes. Let me give you a statistic. Where's my diabetes statistic? Hormone replacement therapy can help prevent diabetes by 50%. So
that is huge, Courtney. Let's talk about this for a second. If there was a medication out there that you could take that would prevent something at a 50% rate,
right,
would you take it?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Something that we know the damage that diabetes does. Causes damage to your pancreas. Can you live without a pancreas? No. Diabetes is, I don't want to even say a silent killer, but it kind of is.
I mean,
diabetes is also something that can be put into remission, or I don't want to say it goes away. Now that, yes, this is type 2 diabetes. You can lose weight, you can exercise, you can manage your foods, and it can go into remission. But you also have a higher percent of likelihood that it would come back if you do not continue those healthy lifestyle changes. But it causes like damage to your pancreas. It is really horrible. Diabetes is hard to live life through.
Right. And now, before you go on with diabetes, let's go back to your main question about, are you too old?
Right.
No, because your body needs hormones. You know, we talked about this, and we have more statistics later for other things too, but it helps in preventing these diseases as a preventative measure.
Right.
But then it can also help with osteoporosis, osteopenia. It can help with heart disease. It can help with macular degeneration. It can help with, like we mentioned, diabetes. It can help with all these things. So why would you not take it?
Good question. Really. But what y'all know, if you've listened to us for any amount of time, we're both pro hormone replacement therapy, bioidentical, pro hormone therapy. Can hormone replacement, there's risks. Let me back up.
Okay.
There's risks for everything, because we hear a lot of women say, oh, but there's risks
like
for
cancer
this. There's risks for this. There are risks in everything. Do the benefits outweigh the small percentage of risk?
Yeah, and let me rephrase that, or let me say what you said and also another way, if that makes sense. There are risks in everything.
Yeah.
So there is a risk in you not taking BHRT.
Yes. When you don't have hormones, your chance of Alzheimer's increases. So we know the cognitive decline that comes from the lack of hormones in the brain. I mean, that's fact.
Right.
There's cognitive decline. There is an increase in heart disease due to changes in hormones. There is an increase of osteoporosis due to lack of hormones. So those are all risks that go up as we age. Your percentage of those diseases increase.
So, and there was another statistic on there that says without hormone therapy, the increase of bone fracture because of osteoporosis is 1 in 2 women.
So 2 people standing there, one of you are going to have osteoporosis
with
and get a bone break.
Bone because of no hormones.
Yeah.
So if you can reduce that risk, would you take the hormones?
Yeah, I would.
I would.
I did. Right. Right. Well, we hear a lot of stories, and one that we heard recently was about a lady. She was in her 70s. She fell, broke a bone, went to the doctor, ended up getting a DEXA scan, has osteoporosis. Didn't know it, suffered a broken bone, and now she is doing all the things. She is on bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. She's lifting weights. And when I say lifting weights, heavy for her weights. We have to stress the muscle and stress the bone in a good way for it to build and repair and become stronger. She has reversed her osteoporosis, which you can do.
That is wonderful.
You can reverse osteoporosis. So people go, well, what's the big deal about osteoporosis? Okay, your bones are a little more brittle.
You can break your back.
Yeah.
Very easily.
Yeah. I mean, we're not just talking, oh, okay, you're going to break an arm or a wrist if you fall. This is like they break without fall.
Well, this is, I've heard stories where women are like, oh, I fell and broke my hip. And it was actually, no, you broke your hip and it caused you to fall.
Right.
So that is way worse than falling and breaking something. If you break it and then it causes a fall.
Yeah. That, less than 40% of women are lifting weights in the United States. Less than 40%. Guys, we can't, that's a non-negotiable.
Right.
We have to be lifting weights for strong bones and strong bodies.
And longevity.
And longevity, yeah. So Heather said in the very beginning, education is key.
Yes.
So if you are suffering or dealing with some health issues or some weight issues or some weakness issues, what you're currently doing isn't working. It's not working. If there is anything you can do, and even if there's health issues that you can't prevent, there are some things that happen and that's just part of it. But why would you not want to be the healthiest that you can be to conquer these things?
Okay, I'm going to say
or to deal with this.
Because doing something new is hard.
It is hard, but so is being unhealthy.
Exactly. And that's what I was going to say. Doing something new is hard, but the more you do the new thing, the easier it becomes.
Right.
For instance, we went out of town this weekend, And you guys know me that I'm in the gym 5 days a week. I'm moving around. I'm getting my steps. This weekend, we did a lot of sitting.
Right. We're visiting. We're
visiting. We went to a concert, so that was sitting, and we drove to the area. It was sitting.
Right.
By the time I got home on Sunday, I was about to jump out of my skin.
Yeah.
Because my body now craves the exercise. Now, let me remind you, when I was 70 pounds heavier 2 years ago, and the thoughts that were going through my head were, I don't even know where to start. I felt overwhelmed because there was so much that I knew I needed to do to become healthy, that I felt overwhelmed with everything. And I had the thought, why even try?
Yeah.
Because I knew it was going to get hard.
And it was going to be really hard to change all these habits.
Yes.
Because it is. I mean, they become habits. Everything becomes habits. Your routine is a habit.
Exactly. But I slowly, one day at a time, replace those with new habits and new things. So now my body's jumping out of its skin just because it needs to move. It needs to be active, and I need to do things. So change is hard.
Yeah.
But it's completely doable if you have a desire that you want to change and you want to feel better. I was listening to a podcast this weekend, and it talked about here in the States, we actually think about our bodies and our systems as individual parts, individual systems. But we've got to remember our body works symbiotically together.
Yeah.
I mean, our systems, the muscular system, the skeletal system, our cardiovascular system, everything works together.
Right.
And if one thing is out of whack, it causes a chain reaction into other things. And that's where the hormones come into play.
Right. And people don't realize that, they think hormones are just involved in
sexual
functions, your genitalia, your cycles, all of those kinds of things. Oh, that's what my hormones do. But if you've listened to us for any length of time, your hormones, they are in your brain. And that is why your body kind of goes haywire in perimenopause, because it no longer has or has decreased amount of hormones, and it affects your brain function. Mm-hmm. It affects where your brain, we know our brain controls everything in our body. And so if our brain cannot function properly, the systems in the body, like you were just talking about, they malfunction. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's like the systems in your car. You don't have oil, you don't have antifreeze, you don't have this.
Breaking down.
They start, it's really that simple. So when we're talking about hormones, and last episode we talked about Kelly Casperson, someone's like, oh, you just want everyone on hormones. I don't care whether you're on hormones or not. I want to educate you. No, I don't want to fear monger you. I don't want you to be scared of hormones. I don't want you to be scared of stuff. Education, and then you make an educated decision what you want to do for yourself.
Right. And so that's why Courtney and I are here, because we want to spread the education.
It has to make sense.
It does have to make sense. And like Courtney and I, yes, we're very pro HRT. But if that's something you're against because you don't want to do it for your body, that's your choice.
Right.
That's not going to change if I like you or not, or if I'm going to talk to you or not. No, it's your choice, and I'll love that decision for you.
Yeah, and I'm pro biohormone replacement therapy because I've seen how it changed my life. I have seen. So y'all all know I have really bad arthritis in one of my knees, and I'm actually getting ready to get it replaced because it's trash. But after I started taking my HRT, the pain has decreased because the inflammation has decreased. My body had tons of inflammation because my hormone levels were out of whack. My body couldn't function, couldn't do things. And so that has decreased. That's another statistic. The hormone replacement therapy, or when you are taking hormones or when you have your hormones optimized, when you have them leveled, it decreases osteoarthritis through the body.
Yes.
How many people do you know when they get old and they go, well, it's just arthritis? Oh,
Everybody I talk to now.
Everyone. Yes,
I've got arthritis in my neck.
It's
back.
just arthritis.
I got a herniated disc now. And
this will decrease the likelihood of osteoarthritis. Now, if you've already got it, it will not make it better. It will decrease the pain because
inflammation.
Inflammation. We've already talked about that. But prevention.
Right.
Can you prevent? So when's the best time to take hormones? That was another question we had. Like,
all right, well, let me go back and answer this. So are you ever too old to take hormones? No.
No.
Just no.
No. Don't.
Just no.
Don't.
If you want to, go do it.
Yeah. Our mom recently started taking them.
Just started at 74.
74. And guess what? She's like, I don't have to take an afternoon nap anymore. I feel fantastic.
Yep.
And she has osteopenia and has had some difficulties there. But she was saying, I'm going to the gym, I'm lifting weights, but I'm just exhausted after the gym. I got to come home and take a nap. I'm wiped out. And she doesn't do that anymore.
No. And she upped her days. So now she's like 4
days a week at the gym.
Taking like weightlifting classes.
Yeah.
And she does heavy for her.
Yep.
And she pushes herself and she's doing great. So are you too old? No.
No. Okay. So when is the best time? So somebody going into perimenopause or in that midlife age, when is the best time to start hormones if I want to start them?
Now.
Prevention.
Yes. Get your blood work done.
Yeah.
Get it checked. And, I was talking to a friend of mine actually this morning. Give a shout out to her. She'll know who she is. And I don't have permission to say her name. So
don't use her name. Yeah.
But she is a friend of mine who lives in a southern state. And I asked her, she was talking to me, we were talking about hormone levels, and I asked her, I was like, well, where do you feel good? Like, where's your estrogen level? And she's like, I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
That's when, and I told her and I was actually, all right, let me finish one thought. I told her, I was like, get it checked. So then you start to know exactly where you are and when you feel good.
Yeah.
Because everybody's levels are different and when you feel good. I was talking to another friend of mine she gets HRT and she has her treatments every, 3 months, whatever you're supposed to do. And I said, okay, how much are you getting? I don't know. You need to know.
Education is key.
Education is key. You need to know what your blood levels are for your estrogen, for your testosterone, for your progesterone, and you need to know where you feel the best because you could be looking at your blood work and going, why don't I feel as good? Compare it to 3 months ago.
Right.
Did you feel good 3 months ago? What were your blood levels? Then you start to have an idea, and then you start to really get things keyed in.
Yeah.
To where, all right, this is where I know I feel good. And that's why Courtney and I can tell you, and I've told you in the past, I like my estrogen between 70 and 90.
Yep.
I feel the best between 70 and 90. And guess what? They're low right now.
And you know.
I know it. I just had my blood work done because I'm getting ready to go in.
But even without that,
I know
it.
Because of what I feel.
Yep.
So it just gives you a little more data so that you can keep up with your own symptoms and your own feelings. And then you'll know, I must be getting into the 60s because I'm getting hot at night.
Mm-hmm.
My shoulder's
a little achy.
You'll start to feel and you'll know exactly what your levels are by how you feel.
That's so funny you said that because I just went and got my blood drawn last week because something's off. Mm-hmm. I know it. Mm-hmm. I'm sleeping like a rock, like really hard, but my joints are achy and a little bit of brain fog. Like I feel a little foggy. And so y'all know this, love my hormone specialist. I just text her, hey, something's off. Hey, she responds, okay, pop in the office. We'll draw your blood and take a look at it. I don't even have to visit her. She's going to go ahead and let me pop in. She can look at it. And then if there's a concern, she'll call me in. Otherwise, she can say, hey, up your estrogen to this for 2 days a week or whatever. She's just going to do a small manipulation to see if we can help this or see if we can change this. Or if there's a red flag, she goes, ooh, come on in. We need to talk about X, Y, and Z. Why would my hormone levels change? Because I'm continuing to get older.
That's what I was going to say. Things still continue to change.
Yeah, we continue to get older.
So you need to do a little tweaking.
Yeah, and that's why you need to know your numbers. That's why you need to know where you are. So we have preached this before. Your menopause soldier pioneers in the menopause movement will say this as well. Get your levels checked early. Midlife is 35. Okay. We don't live to be, not everyone lives to be 100. So 50 isn't midlife. Most people about 80, 84. So midlife is 35 to 40 if you're living to 80. So people going, oh, I'm getting into midlife at 50. No.
You're past
midlife.
Right. You're past that.
Gone. You've
already gone down the hill.
Right. So 35 is great to get your numbers, your hormone levels checked, and explain it to your provider if you are still with a provider that says you don't need your levels checked because you're still having a cycle. Well, cycle is not an indicator all the time. So get your levels. Then it's easy to know when things are changing and dropping. Okay, what was some of our other questions? Let me look.
We had the breast cancer question.
Yeah, I want to ask this first because this is kind of a quick one. Do I need to stop taking HRT when I get older? That's kind of piggyback off the other one. Am I too old to start it?
Did you age out?
I have it and now I'm good. I'm old, so just stop taking your hormones. You don't need them anymore. I think we kind of covered that a little bit, but I want to share a story. Again, Kelly Casperson, she was talking about one of her patients she had worked with for a long time. And then the next time she came in, she was in a wheelchair. And she was like, whoa, what's going on? Well, my doctor took me off of my hormones because he said I was old enough. I didn't need them anymore.
For what?
Right. And that's what she said. She was like, whoa. You're now in a wheelchair. What do you mean? Did that help your quality of life? Why would you not need them? And this was the question, when you get old enough, okay, we are going to take you off your high blood pressure medication because you're old enough.
What other medication would you just stop taking if you needed it?
Yes. What other meds would you say, hey, you've gotten old. You've gotten to that age, so you don't need them. We're just going to take you off of them.
You're trying to wean people
off. What are we doing? We take you off your high cholesterol medication if you were taking that. What other medication would we take you off of? None. So
because you age out,
Yeah.
I mean, if you
don't
improved
need it
your
anymore,
health
right.
and you didn't need it anymore, great. But you don't age out of any medication.
Yeah, age is not an indicator of health.
No.
There are young people very unhealthy. There are old people very healthy. So age is not the indicator. You would never say, okay, yep, you've gotten to 80 years old. Take you off your hormones. There's never, there's benefit. So I wanted to say that because, that's why we do this. That's why we take hormones so our bodies can feel good and have a quality of life as we continue to get older. We age.
And also, if a doctor tells you something, you believe what they say because they're the authority in that area.
Right. They're the medical professional.
Right. So we, again, are not medical professionals, but we are just educating. And so we want to give you the information so that you can question, which you're allowed to do.
Right.
Question your provider if something were to change. Oh, so tell me why we're doing this. Okay. So you can advocate for yourself.
Yeah. Yep. So we get a lot of conversation about hormone replacement therapy and breast cancer.
Yes.
And that is a legitimate concern and fear that females have because it came from a study way back in the 2000s,
right?
Early 2000s, that's kind of been debunked. And research has changed it wasn't even like a real study, if you want to look into that, you can do that. We're not going to go there. But so we get a lot of ladies that say, what about if I've already had breast cancer, post breast cancer hormones? Usually your doctors say no, but that's not necessarily true. And we're going to tell you why.
Well, and we're going to preface this too. This also, the information is from Kelly Casperson, who is also a doctor, and she is also a hormone specialist. And she has researched and researched and researched. And so she has this information and the data that shows how breast cancer and hormone therapy, what you can do if you choose to with the education.
So first of all, there are dozens of different types of breast cancer. We usually dumb it down and we say breast cancer, boom, we just generalize it. Well, there's lots of different types of breast cancer. And so, as I said, usually your doctors, the medical advice is no hormone therapies after breast cancer. We don't want to trigger anything. We don't want to do anything. See a hormone expert.
And we're talking not just a hormone specialist, but a hormone expert that actually does study and know and understand cancers and hormones. Because breast cancer is just, there's different types of cancers. Yeah. It just happens to show up in the breast. And so we've pretty much dumbed it down to breast cancer.
Yeah. And so there are there are some women that have positive results from doing hormone replacement after breast cancer. So transdermal estrogen, which is a on the skin estrogen post breast cancer, yes, those do not raise your blood levels of estrogen. So that's a very safe post cancer, breast cancer estrogen. There is yes to testosterone. Like you will feel better taking testosterone. There is not as much research done on testosterone post breast cancer because we associate estrogen with breast cancer. And so that is where most of your research comes in post breast cancer hormone replacement therapy is on the estrogen side of it. But that's where the transdermal estrogen is a yes, that will help you. That's applied on the vaginal area, and it is usually just a small dosage that doesn't affect the blood levels of estrogen. But here's the like one of the biggest statistics that kind of caught my attention. There's between like 4 and 5 million breast cancer survivors in America currently, and that number is not going down. We're seeing more and more cases of breast cancer. And so the question has to be asked, what is causing this? Because hormone replacement therapy users is like 2%.
Right.
2%. So we have 4 to 5 million breast cancer survivors. What is causing this? It's not hormone replacement therapy. And there is a lot of studies that show hormones do not cause cancer. If they did, when you got pregnant, as women got pregnant, you would see spikes in breast cancer because we know that when you're pregnant, your hormones are going through the roof.
Yes.
So you would see a spike in breast cancer during pregnancy, and that's not the case.
No.
So education is key. Education is key.
Now, not to say that doesn't happen.
Right.
Because it has happened in the past or is happening now. but the numbers are so few and so far between. And
so you
the
can't
women,
link that.
No, and the women you do see who are getting diagnosed with breast cancer are women that are usually postmenopausal.
Yep.
And they have no hormones.
Right.
So they're getting breast cancer, but they don't have any hormones.
Right. So there's other factors here. That's why we talk about education is key. Get your education from medical research and find an expert in that area. We know that 30% of doctors get menopausal education. Less than that get hormone education. Less than that are hormone experts for breast cancer, post-cancer. Right. So you may have to do a little digging to find an expert in that area. But if you are someone that post-breast cancer, you can do hormone replacement therapy. Find your hormone expert. Work with your doctor. Have those conversations, because education is for you so you can gather that information and then make the best decision for you. You are not banished to live a certain lifestyle just because you had breast cancer. Like we said, there's dozens and dozens of types of breast cancer. Hormones don't cause cancer. If we did, we'd see even more.
Everybody
cases.
would have
Everyone
cancer.
would have breast cancer. But we are seeing increases in the numbers and cases, and it's people
and then
that are
decreases of people who are actually taking hormone therapy. So
it is something that a lot of our listeners are concerned about, or a lot of women are concerned about. They go, "Hey, I've heard about blood clots, or I've heard about causing breast cancer." You run a higher risk of blood clots taking birth control pills. Yes. And we've got doctors giving those to
kids,
babies. I say babies, but
yes, young
13,
kids.
14, because they have a irregular period or they have a heavy period. Your risk of blood clots goes up way more. That is a synthetic hormone. We're talking bioidentical. Information, education, that is key. Okay, we've given a ton of information and statistics, but I hope you
stuck with us.
Yeah, and I hope these questions were some of maybe the same questions that you had, because we hear these a lot. These are like your main questions. Your weight gain. What's my risk post breast cancer? Does it cause breast cancer? What's the age? Am I too old for hormones? Am I too young? What are the benefits?
Right.
We're talking about quality of life for the duration. I want to feel good till my last days.
Right.
I think it's really unfair that women have suffered for a great part of their lives because of not having any hormones in their body and the physical and mental effects that come from that.
Well, I can't imagine feeling the way I felt and not having not having the hormones and finding the relief. Because to live the rest of my life how I felt 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I can't
it wouldn't
tell
have
you.
happened.
No.
Yeah.
My life would not be, I want to say I'm going to live longer now.
Oh, absolutely.
I feel good.
Absolutely.
I have energy. I feel so much stronger, and the quality of life is better. I cannot imagine the quality of life I would have had I not discovered hormone replacement.
Yeah. Yeah. It has changed both of our lives for the better and given us a new lease on life. And that's where it was like, we have to share this. Everyone needs to know this. Everyone needs to know, because no one's talking about it.
So if you guys have any questions.
Yeah, just like that. We love the questions.
Yes.
So email us, comment on anything on our Facebook, Redefining Midlife,
you can even
Instagram.
Comment on the podcast itself.
Yes, the podcast itself, you can comment.
Yes, send us a comment, send us a question. And if you are interested in sharing your story on our show,
Yeah, absolutely.
Please reach out. We love to meet people and hear their stories, because everybody's story is important and everybody's story is a little different.
Right.
So until next time, guys,
have a great day.